The self-portrait and the selfie are two separate, though at times overlapping efforts at establishing and embellishing a definition of oneself. So what exactly is a selfie to me? It's something I don't really do. Despite videoing myself by myself a fair amount, I am confident that online I can say right now I only have about 7 selfies posted. But Ethan, how can you have videos of yourself filmed by yourself online and say you only have 7 selfies posted? Well, it all comes down to how I define a selfie versus a self-portrait, and it has to do with intent and effort. In all the videos I've made of myself online, my being the person in front of the camera had nothing to do with selling myself to an audience, but rather I was the mouthpiece for the information I was trying to get across. When a person filmed themselves demonstrating a subject or teaching a lesson to post, we don't consider it a selfie, we focus on the message and the content. However, when a person whips out their phone and grabs a photo of themselves when they're out for coffee, and post it online with the tag Just Saturday Things, they aren't trying to say anything or purvey a message, they're attempting to validate themselves and sell their own lifestyle. Now, the 2 points I just raised use 2 different visual media formats, one being still picture and the other being video. However, the intent element of the statement still remains true. I use 2 photos that I've taken myself as an example. One is of me on the side of a hill with a picturesque background behind me. However, I take up a pretty decent part of the frame, and everything else other than myself is kind of out of focus. What am I trying to express here? It wasn't a beautiful background, or else I would have just taken a landscape of the valley. No, this photo is about me. I'm trying to sell myself as an outdoors type by putting myself in this nature setting. The clothes I have on just happen to be my work clothes. I didn't have any props. I didn't really construct the shot with much thought. I just pulled out my phone, turned on the back-facing camera, and took a photo of myself. I wasn't trying to express any particular artistic intent. In a sense, it's a thoughtless photo. This next photo, however, is a self-portrait where I had to construct the shot in a very specific way. I chose an aesthetic I wanted to purvey, which was this 1940s era black and white television show with a certain set of costuming ideals, and yes, I was going through my Peaky Blinder phase. I decided on where I wanted to take the photo, what I wanted to have in the shot, I got various props, I decorated the desk, I even set up the lighting. I put together a costume, I even burnt about 15 fake cigarettes to get the right type of haze in the photo. Are you starting to see what I'm saying in the difference in effort between a selfie and a self-portrait? Now, art is often considered the expression of the self. But art can't portray your whole self, no one thing can, but a constructed self-portrait provides a much deeper look into the self of the artist/photographer than a selfie snapped on a walk ever could. A self-portrait is an expression of the soul, while a selfie is an expression of the material, the here and now. When a person decides to construct a self-portrait, they're trying to say something about themselves or something that's on their mind, while the selfie is posted in an attempt to get something. Back in 2015, there was a national #Museum Selfie Day. In response to this, an article was written by Annalisa Stefan in which she interviewed the curator of the Getty Museum, Arpad Kovacs, and the writer and theorist Ali Bernes. Arpad Kovacs had this to say: "The self-portrait and the selfie are two separate, though at times overlapping efforts at establishing and embellishing a definition of oneself. Qualities like medium specificity, deeply rooted histories and traditions, or lack thereof, that define these efforts only superficially differentiate the two. What has greater weight is the selfie's inherently replaceable and even disposable quality. If after taking a picture of oneself the results are unsatisfactory, it is easily forgotten and replaced by a new picture. The self-portrait, whether it is a carefully composed study or created in haste, often contains more decisions than can be easily erased. Calling a self-portrait by Rembrandt a selfie is not only anachronistic, it also negates the carefully calculated set of decisions that created the rendering. This does not mean that selfies cannot be self-portraits, or that selfies by nature require the opposite of calculated intent. An artist could choose to represent him or herself through selfies, however, self-portraits don't immediately signify selfies." Ali Bernes had this to say: Self-portraits are created to be read as art, are displayed in museums or galleries, and we're granted permission to view them as texts, functioning independently from the intent of the artist. Selfies are born of vernacular photography practices and are often brought into museums and galleries by visitors. It is perilous to read selfies in the same way as art as to ignore the context of their social interaction and the intent of the selfie taker. The self-portrait's intent is to portray the thinking soul, while the selfie is designed to portray the soul of the moment, the experience, and both serve their purpose and have their place within the history of self-expression. The selfie is a capturing of our individual histories and surface thoughts. All the small moments and the fun times, the self-portrait explains our thinking and lets us step deeper into the expression of our emotions than a small caption below a photo ever could. For he did not know that beyond the lake he called home there lied a deeper and darker ocean green, where the waves are both wilder and more serene. To its ports I've been, to its ports I've been.